Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Åshild, and today we're gonna do something I think is really fun. I think I saw Sarah Rose do a similar video like this. Basically, I go through my entire eyeshadow collection and I choose my favorite and my least favorite eyeshadow in each palette. So I have 14 palettes to go through today. I have included all my eyeshadow palettes that has 5 pans or more. I didn't include the smaller ones, and I didn't include my single eyeshadows. So this is a kind of video I think is really fun to watch, so I hope you will enjoy. And let's get started with the first palette. I'm just going from the smallest palette to the largest palette. So this first one is the Natasha Denona mini retro palette. It contains of 5 eyeshadows. Just a beautiful eyeshadow palette. Honestly, I'm gonna have to swatch a lot of these because I have an idea of pretty much all of the favorites and least favorite eyeshadows here, but there are definitely some that I'm not certain on until I've swatched them again. And this is a hard one. Alright, so I'm gonna choose these two. Oh no, the sun is not... Okay, the sun is not on my side today, but hopefully you can see any swatches I do. So I chose the so-called topper shade, the one that's called Galaxia, and then 60s is my least favorite shade. So yeah, my favorite shade is this topper one, Galaxia. As long as I use a glitter glue, this is very, very pretty on the eye. And I often go in to this palette just for that eyeshadow. It is getting drier now, so I liked it more when it was fresh. But yeah, it's a very beautiful color. And then this one is, you know, at the pictures before I ordered this palette, and also really in the pan, it looks like a muted soft green shade. I don't know if it comes across like that on the video, but at least in real life it looks like that. And that's what I wanted, because I think soft greens and pinks looks really nice together. But on the eye it looks like just a gray color with maybe a hint of green, but really just a gray. And or like a muddy gray, I would say, which is disappointing because it doesn't really give the effect I was hoping for with this palette. But I do really like it, don't get me wrong, but if I could change out this color for a more, maybe lighter, softer, more like actual green, that would be so much better. So that's that. I'm gonna do my favorites on this hand and my least favorites on this hand. And then I want to do maybe 2 more videos where I do a makeup look with my least favorite eyeshadows and then another video with my favorite eyeshadows. That would be fun. Is it fun? What do you guys think? Leave a comment. Okay, this next one is the Essence I Like to Move It, Move It. This is my least favorite eyeshadow palette in my collection, just so you guys know. I do like the color story, and I will say I do like the matte eyeshadows. There's 3 mattes and 3 more metallic-y shades. I think my favorite shade is this right here. This looks like nothing really, but I think it's a very unique shade. It's like a super light mauvey. No, it's not mauve. It's more like a lavender purple. It's very, I don't have anything like this. It's very, very pretty, especially as a transitional color. Very, very beautiful color. And my least favorite shade is one of these metallic shades. I'm trying to remember which one is really, 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 oh yeah. It's between these two, and I think this, what's this called? This one's called Into It. Into It. This is very patchy on the eyes. It looks okay, I guess, but it is very patchy. And I think if it wasn't so patchy, I would like the eyeshadow itself. Actually, to be honest, I would change out this eyeshadow because I feel like I have a darker metallic and a lighter metallic, and this would be just, it would just be fun to have just a completely different shade, like a yellow or something like that. I think that would be fun. But I guess the whole theme is mauve, so that's why they did mauve-ish tones on all of these, but yeah, not my favorite at all. Alright, next is Colourpop's Take Me Home palette. This was like gift with purchase that I got a long time ago. It contains of 6 eyeshadows. Very, very nice travel friendly eyeshadow palette. I always bring this when I go traveling. But let's see. It's very hard to choose a least favorite because I really enjoy all of these. And I find it hard to choose my favorite one too because I like them all. It sort of stands between these two, my favorite ones. These two are really nice. I think I'm gonna choose, what's this called? Saltwater? Yes, Saltwater to be my favorite shade. It's like a very, it reminds me of summer. It's just a very nice metallic goldy orange. Yeah, that's my best description. And I guess my least favorite shade, I would, on one hand, I would say it's my favorite shade. The Bitter Better. And this is a beautiful gold. That's what it looks like, but it's just very dry and it's very like flaky, if you know what I mean. So the gold shade, the shade in itself is beautiful. So I still really like it, but it's more the texture, I would say, is why it's my least favorite. But I still really love this palette. I really do. Alright, next is my Beautybay Pastels eyeshadow palette. Oh, wow. This is gorgeous. I absolutely love this palette. This is my only eyeshadow pan that I have made organically, that hasn't been in some sort of a panning project. So that tells you how much I really like that shade, which means, I mean, I'm just gonna say it. I think this is my favorite shade. It just goes with a lot of eyeshadow looks that I like to create. It's a very pretty eyeshadow. Actually kind of similar to this other one I have, just a little bit of a darker, more vibrant version. And I think I'm gonna say that my least favorite is the yellow. Although I use it quite a lot, I do wish it was more, it doesn't look like it's not pigmented, but it really, I find it hard to show up as much as I would like, but I do really enjoy it. I really like these two shades together. I just wish this was a little bit more opaque, but what are you gonna expect from a pastel yellow? I don't know. The purple lavender one is called Daydream, and the yellow one is called First Light. So far, this is what it looks like. Next, we have the Makeup Battle Punk Hella Beauty from MakeupMekka. This was gifted to me. Absolutely love this one. I mean, these two, the yellow shade and then this more dark brownish taupish brown. more cooler brown metallic shade. It's gorgeous. So it's sort of between these two, but I think I'm gonna go for the one called Devil. This one right here. This is gorgeous. This is my favorite. I'm doing my best to swatch so you can see here to make good swatches, but it's not easy. Okay, so that's my favorite shade. I think my least favorite shade is going to be the Sagittarius, the metallic black. I'm just not a big black eyeshadow person, and it's not because it's a bad black. I'm not really sure. I'm not even sure I've ever used this, but it's just not a go-to for me. I wear it like once or twice a year, max. So if I were to create this, or if I were to do any changes on this eyeshadow palette, I would have changed or switched the black eyeshadow with something else. Maybe a purple? Or what else would be nice? Maybe like a blue. That would be cool. So yeah, but a lovely palette nevertheless. Next is my Bright Matte from Beautybay. This is one I go and just pick one color from usually to make like a pop of color in my eyeshadow looks that I create. This is gorgeous. The yellow is really pretty in this one. This is probably my most opaque yellow that I have. I'm trying to figure out my favorite ones. They're all so pigmented and beautiful. My favorite one is going to be this green eyeshadow in Jaded. That's the name. No. Oh no, I did the wrong hand. See, they're so pigmented, you can't really even take it off. Let's try again. My favorite shade is Jaded on this hand. That's what it looks like. And my least favorite, you know, it's probably the white one, because all of the other shades are so pigmented and this white one is just not. I just swatch it over the green and now it looks like light green, but you get the picture. It's supposed to be a white right there. Sorry. So yeah, that one is called Coconut Crush. Gosh, these are so pigmented. It's crazy. Okay, next we have my Milani Most Loved Mattes. Beautiful matte eyeshadow palette. Just lovely. We've got like a neutral, a more cool, and more warm row of eyeshadows. I think there's really no eyeshadow I don't like in here, again, but my favorite shade is either this one or this one. Ooh, yeah, it's gonna be this right here. It is called Bust a Mauve. It's a super light mauvey shade. Let me do it right this time. This is one that I like to just build up, and it looks really pretty on the eyes. That's what that one looks like. And then my least favorite, I'm probably just gonna have to choose the one I use the least because I really enjoy all of them. Probably, I'm just gonna choose this darkest purple one. I very rarely use this one. It's really not a bad one, but look at that, it's very nice. It's really not bad. It's not. It is called Don't Raise in Your Voice. Alright, next up we have the Colourpop You Had Me at Hello. This is one of my favorite palettes, so I really enjoy this. And my three favorite shades are right here. I swatched them right here. They are this one, and this one, and this one. Now, my least favorite shade is this right here. Not because it's bad, it's actually really good, but I don't feel like it fits in here. It doesn't fit in with the other shades. The other shades work really nicely together, but I just don't feel, I feel like this is a little bit misplaced. It may just be because I'm not good with combining colors that doesn't necessarily typically go together, and it was really hard to pick my favorite shade because again, these three are, this one, and this one are just so beautiful. I'm gonna choose this one. Okay, so my least favorite shade is called Two Peas, I guess. Yes, and my favorite shade is called Candygram, which is this very unique, kind of hard to describe actually, and also a little bit hard to combine with other shades, to be honest, but when you make it work, it looks beautiful. This is what that looks like. I would describe it as a orangey pink, vibrant, warm pink. All right, next is a very hard one. It has a lot of pans. It has 14 pans. There's a lot of beautiful eyeshadows here. There's like maybe two I'm thinking I would say are my least favorite. I would say, just want to mention, these three matte shades are gorgeous. I have swatched them right here. I know this is not a new palette. I'm sure you've seen these swatches so many times, but I'm just over trying to get the newest, trendiest piece of makeup all the time. I just want to find something that I really like and do my best to enjoy it and get the most out of the money I've spent. And then also, I would say that these two and this one, which is these two and this one, are beautiful metallics. The ones that I are a little unsure of, that I think I'm gonna go for as my least favorite, are either Drama or Wild Child. Drama, I just don't use. I think it's way too dark. It doesn't look like anything else than like a really dark, almost black shade right here. And then Wild Child is a nice pink, but it's just not my favorite kind of pink. It's a very Barbie pink, and it's just not something I like to combine with these shades. It could maybe work with, I guess, if I would go for like a really pastel eyeshadow look, maybe some of these pinks would go, from my pastels palette, would go nice with this metallic pink, but I just, it's not something I tend to reach for in this palette. I guess Wild Child is my least favorite. I'm just gonna have to think, is it the right arm? Yeah, this is my least favorite. Yeah. Oh gosh, my favorite one, either Summer or Celestial or Rose Gold or Love or Volatile or Eccentric. One of those. You know what? I think my favorite one is Rose Gold. It just is. It's just beautiful. This one right here, it really is beautiful and so opaque. That is what that one looks like. But I will say, if you don't use a glitter glue when you use these metallics from the Norvina palette, you are in trouble. Also, I always have to do my eyeshadow first to be able to remove all that fallout and glitter from those eyeshadows. So that's one really big downside, I feel like. Even though I use glitter glue also, it does have some fallout. So next we have, like, within my top 3 of favorite palettes, this is the BH Cosmetics Smitten in Switzerland palette. This is gorgeous. Wow, this is so beautiful. I'm loving this palette, especially in the fall, but also really any time of year. Now let's see, which one's my favorite? I was gonna initially say some of these pink ones because those are my go-tos, but at the same time, Geneva, Alps, and Mount Pilatus are also gorgeous shades for sure. The Mount Pilatus, this taupey gray, so beautiful. Pairing it with pinks, mauves, blues, greens, it's just gorgeous. So that is my favorite one. And then, oh, and the quality is just beyond. I can't even describe how good these eyeshadows are. Some of the best ones I've ever tried. And then my least favorite is, it has to be the God Hard Tunnel, just because it's a black. Again, I never reach for these blacks in my eyeshadow palettes, very, very rarely. It's a gorgeous black shade though, so if you are into blacks, I'm sure you're gonna love this one. I don't even know if you can get this palette anymore. I think you can. This is what it looks like so far. Only 4 eyeshadow palettes left, okay? Hang in there. I think I would put in like a really like grayish matte taupe. That would be really pretty. But I mean, this palette is perfect in itself, so love this one. Next, we have another favorite of mine, the Huda Beauty New Nude. I mean, this is an older palette, but I'm sure a lot of you have this one. I would love to hear your favorite eyeshadows, by the way, and your least favorites. My favorite is really easy in this one. Actually, it is one of these two eyeshadows. They're both gorgeous, but my favorite one is going to be this one. It is called Daydream. It doesn't look like it's super pigmented, but it shows up really nice on the eyes. Not a problem at all. It's just a really nice lavender pink shade. Beautiful. And my least favorite shade is also pretty easy. It's one of these two glitter shades. I don't use them. My daughter has dipped her fingers into them, but other than that, I don't even really want to swatch them. My least favorite out of these two are the one that has the strongest like pigmentation. I mean, they're pretty and everything, but I never use them, and I really don't like even swatching them, and they look terrible on the eyes. That's what that one looks like. I mean, yeah, patchy and just not good. Don't like it at all. It's called Excite, something like that. Next we have W7 My Atlantis. This is a dupe for the Rose Quartz from Huda Beauty. My newest palette in my collection, really pretty one. Oh my gosh, I was gonna swatch the Sea Fire. The eyeshadow just, it's just sort of a collection of small balls, and they all came out. Look at what it looks like now. Look at that. Okay, it is what it is. It's a knockoff. All right, so this was really hard, but I will say that my favorite ones are this guy called Erupt, and then Sea Fire, the one that crumbled, and then Eden is a beautiful matte, and then Lost, I think it's called, this one right here. But my least favorite again is gonna have to be the one called Myth, kind of for the same reason as my other pink shade that I had in my Norvina palette. This one right here, it's just not a typical shade I go for. It's a very light baby pink. It's not my favorite. I like more mauvey pinks. Nothing really bad, but just not my kind of color. So that's that. And then my favorite, which one am I going to choose? It's one of these ones. All right, I think I'm just gonna go for this dark indigo. Is indigo the right word? No, I guess dark purple is the right word. The one called Erupt. This looks way too dark for me in the pan. This looks like a color I wouldn't like in the pan, but once you swatch it, it is gorgeous. So this is what that one looks like. I mean, look at this row of beautiful shades. I love this. The So Jaded palette. Oh, wow. The love I have for this palette. Kathleen Lights in collaboration with Colourpop. Such an old palette, but I cannot get rid of this because this is just, this just brings me joy. It gives me so much inspiration. It's very easy to pick my least favorite shades because Topaz and Opal is this one, Opal and Topaz. They're both glitters. The one I like the least is probably the Opal one. That's this one. Again, oh, I hate these glitters. They're just terrible. But that's what they look like. And my favorite shade, I think, you know what? I think my favorite shade used to be Diamond. This was like a super shock shade and it was beautiful, but it has kind of dried quite a bit this last year, I would say. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna call this my favorite shade anymore, but it used to be. My favorite shade right now, I mean, look at these. They are just gorgeous. I've made up my mind. It is the one called Smoky Quartz. This one right here. This just makes the most gorgeous, like, how do I describe this shade? Cool, light cool brown champagne shade. Then to my final eyeshadow palette, my dusty Tati Beauty palette. There's a lot of shades I'm actually not a huge fan of in this palette. It tends to be not forgotten about. I'm like, when I do my eyeshadow, I think, wow, I should probably bring out my Tati palette. And then I look at it, I don't feel inspired. I don't feel like, I don't feel like using this palette very often. And so I don't. I really honestly don't use this very often. I really try to push myself, but yeah, it is what it is. I will say these are my favorite glitter shades. They are really nice. So, but there are just so many like repeat shades. Yeah. Anyways, this is not a review of the palette itself. I think my least favorite shade is going to be not the blackest black, because you can always use a super black shade for like Halloween or whatever. It's more this thing right here, which is called Sequin Memory. It's just like, it's not really gray, it's not really black, it's just almost a black, so you can't really use it. I mean, I guess it's better in a way for me to use a softer black, but it has a lot of glitter in it. Although it's not metallic, it's still glittery. I'm sure it's pretty if you do a smoky black eye to have that kind of shimmer, but how often do I do that? Never. So make sure it's on the right side. I mean, it's a pretty black, but it's not, no, it's just not for me. It's not. I'm sorry, Tati. Although it has great quality and all that, but it's, yeah. And then my favorite shade should probably be something that is like a go-to when I use this palette. And I love these more warmer orangey brown shades. Those are really beautiful. I also think that this is really nice, this champagne-y shade, this one as well. But which one is my favorite? I think one of these shades, these three shades. You know what? I'm gonna choose the matte orange one, the one called Sequin Story on top right here. And this is what that one looks like. So pretty and very, very, very pigmented. So that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got some entertainment out of this video and that you liked what you saw. Let me know which palette is your all-time favorite palette, and what shade do you like the most in that palette and the least in that palette. I would love to know. And please give me the reason why you like it or dislike it. Because what may be your reason for not liking an eyeshadow may be the reason why someone else would love it. So that is what my favorite eyeshadow row looks like. All of my favorite ones. And then all of my least favorite ones. Let me know if you would like a video where I do a look with my least favorite and one with my favorite eyeshadows. I think that would be kind of fun. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!